All right, so this is going to be a video about my own personal experience. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I tried to do it many times, but I used to get very angry because of what happened to me. Um, I also, trying to explain it, it went on for so long. I was gang stalked for over 30, or I'm sorry, over 25 years. I was going to say 30, but because, it was, it was 25 years of absolute gang stalking, with several years after that where I would see the individuals gang stalking me much less. I mean, it was less frequent only because I moved across country. And it was not the same individuals, but I'll explain that later. How do I know? Well, because they happen to be law enforcement. And I'll explain that to you. Again, I wanted to tell this story for a long time. I couldn't tell it in the way that I wanted to tell it. I'm still trying to tell it many years later. Why tell it now? Well, I'm not going to actually tell you the whole story now. I'm just going to talk about some things I learned. If you're being gang stalked, let me tell you this: gang stalking is absolutely real. Um, yes, there is a difference between being gang stalked and being paranoid, or there is medical issues for some people where they're delusional. I have paranoid delusions. So there's an issue that can is why so many people do not believe in gang stalking. I'm trying to think how to put this in the right perspective. I've seen a couple videos out there of people claiming that gang stalking is. One of them was a guy was mentioning he saw multiple bike racks when he was driving. He saw cars with that's not bike racks on them. Okay, that's not. Excuse my language. That's not fucking gang stalking. Okay, that's not gang stalking. That's paranoid delusion. Again, to be able to distinguish these is so important. It's why people that are being gang stalked, literally gang stalked in their lives room, torn upside down like I was, could not find an attorney who believed me. Attorneys are, listen, most attorneys, probably most 99.9%, don't have any knowledge of that this is real. I mean, the majority of attorneys do not know. They don't believe that the government would do this, the police would do that. There might be 1% out there who've dealt with the government, who have inside knowledge, these type of things, but that's about it. I mean, there's a small percentage of attorneys. So finding an attorney to help you is very difficult. Not that you can't do it. And in many cases, if you're being gang stalked, it depends on who's doing it. So there's a difference between being gang stalked by, okay, so first of all, let me say this. In order to be gang stalked, it's not like an ex-boyfriend following an ex-girlfriend and harassing her, or following her, or putting a tracker on her car, or they might put an app on her phone to see what she's doing. That's not gang stalking. That's obviously that is what it is. It's an ex-boyfriend. That is a type of stalking, but that's not gang stalking. Gang stalking requires a lot of resources. You cannot gang stalk. Real gang stalking, the average person cannot gang stalk another person. People without the ability, financial ability, to pay for all the things that need to be paid for in the gang stalking process cannot do it. Gang stalking comes from, number one, you can be gang stalked by demonic forces. Like in my case, I was demonic forces, law enforcement. In my case, it was also law enforcement. Like I said, and I'll get into that after. And corporations. One of the, and I'm trying to be careful what I say on some of these things to avoid any issues, because it's important that I'm not trying to make accusations on. I don't mind making accusations of the people who did it to me. I'll tell you names and places, and I'm going to do that over the next, over the next several months as I get better at doing this. And talking about it. Anyway, to get back to what I said, there's also, for instance, there was a story of what I would refer to as a cult, but you all know them as Scientology is well known for gang stalking. They have the assets. They have $1.5 billion net worth. It's probably more than that by now. So that's the kind of money you need to gang stalk. The government can do it because they have unlimited resources. Demonic spirits and monitoring spirits, of course they can do it. They can move in and out of realms. They can follow you. They can create situations. They can create havoc in your life. They don't need any monetary resources to do that. God forbid you're put in a position like me where I'm gang stalked not only by the spiritual realm, but I'm being gang stalked by law enforcement and being falsely accused. And again, it's a long story. And yes, gang stalking is absolutely real. And again, distinguishing gang stalking between actual gang stalking and paranoid delusion is very difficult for most people. It's why you have psychiatrists who don't believe in it, psychologists who don't believe in it, because their go-to is your paranoid delusion. One of the attorneys I tried to hire said, like I'm an idiot, like I'm just a complete idiot and I don't know what he's talking about so I contact him, and then I'm going to get on to the rest of this, things to do to survive. But I'll give you a quick. I did try to get an attorney, not to sue, obviously, demonic spirits. I couldn't do that. That I had to deal with prayer and asking God for help. But when dealing with gang stalking from law enforcement and the government, I tried to get an attorney. I wasn't afraid to go to court. I am able, I have some abilities, which I'll get into that way, that those of us who are God's chosen, and who you are out there, we have abilities. I have some incredible abilities. So anyway, I'm able to see things and put together things most people aren't. So I tried to get an attorney. This is, I think this was like the third attorney I tried to approach to get, to take this, to sue, at least sue the police doing this. And his first thing, after I explained a little bit about what was going on, how they bugged my home, how they were monitoring my computer, which they still do today, how they broke in my home, they vandalized my car, they stole money from my bank account. I'll go on and on about that. Matter of fact, since I'm doing that, let me just go over this. Here's a little bit about it. A list of criminal acts committed against me over the last 25 years by the police and U.S. government. Again, it was the police and U.S. government, but again, this was demonic forces who put me in a situation to be falsely accused by this piece of shit, Lieutenant Tom Monahan, who made up a false drug allegation against me. See, I'm giving you a name. Remember, gang stalking doesn't have names. People don't have names. How can you track things? It doesn't exist. Gang stalking doesn't exist. What do you call this? This is a fucking book about 25 years of gang stalking. 25 years of gang stalking. This is not paranoid delusion. This is digital notes. See, I'm getting off track. This is what I do. Okay, digital notes.
Her husband were going out of town. That your mother had to check their mail for them, and so she didn't know which mailbox it was, and it was not numbered. And so what happened was,
this is me. This is me taking notes of what they're doing in a digital recorder. I bought this digital recorder actually to keep in a hotel room because I noticed there was some weird shit going on when I went on vacation. I'll get into that. They actually planted hidden cameras in my hotel room, the Las Vegas police, violating my right of privacy and my Fourth Amendment. Yes, they did. Got digital notes. This is Michael Pfeiffer. Put up my work. He tried to befriend me, hang out with me. They did this all the time. They would do this everywhere I went. I've got, like I said, on and on. The difference is most people who get on here and don't have the evidence. I have a ton of evidence. Not only do I have the names of the attorneys and also many of the law enforcement that try to set me up, I did something most people never do. I went after them. I tried to follow the book at first. I called Internal Affairs. I even contacted the FBI. The FBI agent I spoke to was Josephine Ramiro. There will be a record of that through the Freedom of Information Act. Remember, gang stalking isn't real. This can't be real. But you'll be over 25 years, I was gang stalked and harassed nonstop 24/7. But notice I'm giving you names. Now back to this little slide here. False drug allegation, bugging my phones, home, car, tracking my every move, planting evidence. They tried to plant evidence on my computer. I'll explain that in the story. Violating my Fourth Amendment rights, beyond what you can imagine. I got to tell you right now, it's so sad about you attorneys if you ever see this tape. You're fucking idiots. You go to law school, you do your little book, you study some crap, you pass the bar, and you don't know shit. You go in, you do your little law because you don't know what the world really is. You have no concept of what it is. You have no concept how corrupt the police and the government are. You don't believe that they're able to do these things. How do I know? Because a friend of my family was a judge, and I asked my mom to talk to her, the judge, and she said to my mom, the police don't do that. They would never do that. A judge said that. And she was, this is how people are. Most of the judges and many of the people even in government, don't know that section of the government that does these type of things, the gang stalking, the assassinations, the planting of evidence. Anyway, planting hidden cameras in my hotel room, spying on me from the ceiling from another apartment, planting illegal pictures on my computer, destroying my friendships and business contacts with false claims. They kept going around telling everybody I'm a drug dealer, I'm a homosexual. They love to, they make up, and of course people believe them. And the worst part is everybody turns on you because they see a badge, a fucking badge. Let me explain something about the police. They are fucking wearing a clown suit. The only reason they have power is we as Americans give them power. They're nothing, most of them are corrupt beyond what you can imagine. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to tell you, some more about what happened to me. Like I said, this is one of the problems. I do it all the time. You can feel the anger when your life is destroyed over bullshit. And I can't say it's bullshit because I know that, I'm one of God's chosen. And that's what I'm going to talk about as well. And those of you who are chosen ones, you know why we're gang stalked. So I can't say it. I'm honored that God chose me. I'm honored that he tested me. Let me put it that way. But it doesn't mean I can't be angry about the things I went through. Okay. And that's definitely why it's so hard to talk of this story. I'm also winding down in life. I'm an older man now. Not much they can do. Whatever they do, so be it. I'd rather tell the story. To be honest with you, most of you who see this, if you don't never been gang stalked or not one of God's chosen, you think I'm crazy. I don't really give a shit. And most of you won't care. It didn't happen to you. And I get that. And I understand human nature. If it doesn't happen to you or somebody you love, it's very difficult to connect to that. You might have sympathy. You might have, feel bad. But I'm not asking for sympathy or anyone to feel bad for me. I see what's going on in Gaza. Those are the people, those children and those people being genocided are the ones you should feel bad for. Because no matter what I went through, it's nothing compared to what they went through. So I'm going to talk about now some of the things that are so important when you're being gang stalked. I am a person, I'm a fighter. When people come against me, I rise up and I like to fight. It's gotten me in some trouble because I don't like bullshit. I was victimized for 25 years by these people and by demonic forces. And that's not my personality to put up with that. So anyway, let me get onto the list really quick. Because I know that some of you want to hear what I have to say regarding that. So here's the list I came up with. And yes, I wrote it quick. Sometimes I'm writing things quick and I noticed it and I could have went back and reprinted it. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to go reprint it. So anyway, one of the biggest mistakes when you're gang stalked is you freak out. When you start noticing if you're being followed, weird things are happening, your home is broken into, you notice clicking on your phone. They like to use electronics to monitor your phone, your computer. They'll put a tracking device on your car, things like that. All that happened to me. They even put a tracking device in the seat of my bike. In California, when I moved to California. I know this is crazy because they actually my bike was locked up. I'm getting off track again. All right. I have to save this. This is what's so hard to do. Get to the point. That's what people say. We're already at 13 minutes. Anyway, the first thing you need to do is relax and not freak out. That's what they want. First thing, if you freak out, you cannot make good decisions. And that's where they're able to do the things that will, that's what they want. They want to freak you out. They want to get you off kilter. They want you to make the wrong move. They want you to get angry with people around you. They want you to take it out because it makes you look crazy, makes you look like there's something wrong with you. And they love that. They get off on that. I can't tell you when the cops were following me over and over. I was one time at the mall and they were following me. And they came up the elevator, looked and turned around. I heard them say to the other cop, because I'm an empath, so I can read the energy. I'm one of the top empaths in the country, in the world, actually. And I could feel their energy. And so I could hear, I always had an ability to just focus my hearing. He talks to the other guy. No, he says to the other guy, because I'm trying to ignore them at this point. This is in 2003. They had already been gang stalking me since 1995. And he says to the other cop, I hear him as I'm going down the escalator, no reaction. Yeah. They're talking, okay, no reaction. Then they follow behind me. This is the kind of things they want to get a reaction. Boom, they want to get a reaction. Okay, the second thing is to cut out all risky behavior. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sure the demonic forces came because I wasn't exactly being the best Christian. I was drinking a lot. I was under a lot of stress. In my life, I had been, my When this all started, false allegations came in 1995. In 1995, I was also in a lawsuit for a business, so I was under a lot of stress. 96, my father passed away. Other things, I'll have to save that for a story. Again, I'm getting off track. This is the problem. I'm already at 15 minutes, so I want to make this quick. So second thing is to cut out all risky behavior. This is what they can use to set you up. They will set you up. If you're a high-level target like I am, of one of God's, I'm high-ranking. I know people could laugh. You're high-ranking? Yes, I'm actually high-ranking spiritually as one of God's chosen. They don't track you for 25 years unless you're fucking really high-ranking. And I see... I not only, getting off track, see the anger. So no alcohol or drugs if you're looking. And if you're looking, I say this is where it says looking at top porn. I meant at porn. You need to stop. Pornography, things like that. You're attracting those demonic forces. That's what they want. The police can use that. They tried to, I was going through a period where I was under a lot of stress. I was under demonic attack. I'm able to, as an empath, one of my gifts is as an empath. I can feel all the energy around me. Another gift of mine is I can see into the spiritual world. I can see angels and demons. And I'll even show you a video here in a second. So I have the ability. I'm on that level. I'm fucking awesome. I'm awesome. I have to stop pretending I'm not. I'm a man who's been speaking to angels for over 30 years. Okay. I am able to do things most cannot do. Angels and demons are real. Gang stalking is real. Okay. So again, you got to get away from the alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs are that's why in the Bible, it says to stay sober and vigilant because Satan prowls around like a lion looking to devour souls. And that's not the exact quote. I know it's not, but that's absolutely true. Satan is real. I've dealt with Satan, one of my angels, and off track. Sorry. This is the problem. I can go on for like months and months on one video, but I don't want to do that to you. So anyway, stay away from the pornography. They're going to, they monitor my computers. They still monitor them today. They recognize that I'm very unique. Many of those in the police recognize that I'm not your normal human being here on earth. They believe me. They know. And so stay away from drugs and alcohol, stay away from pornography, because drugs and alcohol honestly is one of the worst things you can do when being gang stalked or harassed. You can't think straight. It's what they want. And it's so natural. It is a natural reaction to drink, do drugs when you're stressed out with this type of thing. Many people end up doing that. And that's why so many people that are gang stalked end up homeless, which is another thing they love. If they could destroy your life and have you living on the street as a drug addict through the gang stalking, they love that. Satan loves that. They love destroying people. And so a lot of those people out there homeless right now, I'm not saying they were gang stalked. I'm not saying they were demonic, but who knows what they went through to get there. That's all I'm saying. Do not get angry if you can avoid it. I got very angry. I didn't understand what was going on. Had no idea. So I got angry. I was very angry. And that's why I drank a lot more. It's not a good thing. I was drinking every day at the time, and it really hurt my ability to fight back in a better way, because I have some incredible abilities, but when you're drinking constantly, I miss things that I would catch later, like the hidden camera in my hotel room, the cutting. Okay, let me move on to the next one. I don't want to get off track here. We're already at 18 minutes. Do not get angry. This is how they get you to lose control and make poor decisions. Okay, stay away from people you do not know and trust. No new friends during this time. You have to understand they will use people to set you up. It could be an acquaintance that the police approach, or somebody who's gang stalking, even let's say it's a corporation, or let's say it's demonic forces, because even demons can influence people to set you up, to get you to do drugs, to do something you wouldn't normally do. Unfortunately, you have to be careful. That's why so many people that are gang stalked end up like me. I don't want any friends. I avoid people because I know the demonic forces can influence them. We're in a fallen world, so I avoid it. I have to. I prefer a life of solitude, and I love it, to be honest with you. So stay away, because it will help eliminate. So no new friends during this time. It will help eliminate being set up or falsely accused of something. If you are one of God's chosen, like I am, and I am, then listen to your angel guides. I have been communicating with my angels for many years. They have come to me. My first time an angel came to me was years before this ever happened, I saw an angel sitting by my bed. So I should have known that my life was going to take a unique path. Always be aware of your surroundings and try not to get paranoid. The paranoid thing there's a lot of tricks they use to drive you over the edge. And so we absorb that as human beings, and we take that and we react to that, and that's what they want. So these are some important things and there's a lot more, but I have to do other videos and tell my story. Like I said, gang stalking is not real. I have business cards of the people that did this. I have digital, I have book, I have, I was going to say a video, VHS videos from the beginning when I was taking it being followed. Let me just say this. This piece of garbage right here is the one who made a false allegation. I was dating his daughter, Heather. We broke up. Ironically, the business that I ended up in a lawsuit was on the other side of town away from her house. This is how you know how Satan works to set people up. Heather comes to my business several months after we broke up, my new business, to get her windows tinted. I opened a window tint at an auto alarm place. Long story. Anyway, she comes in, sees me. All of a sudden, I didn't realize it right away, but looking back, that's when I started to notice I thought I was being followed. She went to her father, told him about our breakup, and I was a young man. I was a dickhead. I admit it. Sometimes we do that, but I didn't. If I had done something illegal, as you could see, he was a cop. He could have arrested me. He got angry and went to the captain of the helicopter division. You're going to wonder how I know all this. Well, I'm one of the top chosen ones in the world. He went to the helicopter division, and they conspired to make a drug allegation against me in 1995. They began to follow me. For 4 years, they followed me before they set me up with a guy named Detective Kirk Sullivan, who I was actually just getting into real estate at the time, who many cops have side jobs. He happened to be a cop. Detective Sullivan happened to be a cop, a realtor. So they had him working in my office. They had him working at Properties Plus in Las Vegas, where I worked at the time. Again, I'm not going to get into the story. It's a long story, and we're getting on 22 minutes. Here's the thing. I'm going to show you something. This is my condo that I'm living at in La Costa in California. Okay. We're getting to the end of the story, but I'm trying to condense a lot of this because people you got to get to the point. Listen, if you're asking to get to the point, then you need to just get away, go play Pokemon or whatever you're going to do. This is not for you, because this is some serious stuff for the people out there that need this. Okay. So I'm in my condo. I'm upstairs in my bedroom. I had cameras because in the past, now I have cameras all over the place. Not except the bedroom, bathroom, things like that, because I will tell you the police can hack into your internet, just so you know, so can the FBI, and they'll watch you through your own cameras. They do this for a fact. They violate your Fourth Amendments on a level you could never imagine. They don't give a shit about the Constitution. They're corrupt as shit. Anyway, so I have I think it was a 9-inch Samsung tablet. I liked them. I had it because the cameras were hooked up. So I had cameras monitoring my downstairs, my front door, and managing the living room. All of a sudden, bing, 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 sets the camera alarm off. Well, I know that it's not the dogs because I put a fence on the stairway so they don't go downstairs, and they're actually laying on the bed with me. So I look and I go and I see, what the fuck is that? What is that? There's a fire. Why? Because this is what I see. This is the actual video of what I see on the tablet. See that smoke? That's a flower, by the way. That was a flower I bought for a family member for Mother's Day that I'm going to give them the next day. The flower's on the table too. So ironically, that's what I was doing for but this is moving. That smoke, that is a demon. Yes, it is. Number one, if you can blow that up, because on my tablet you can blow it up, there is a face in that. Number two, I think it's a fire because I see that smoke. I run downstairs because I'm like, what the fuck? It's because it's by the kitchen in the living room. I'm like, the house must be on fire. I don't smell any smoke, anything, no alarm detection. There's zero there. It's gone. This is a demon. I've been seeing demons for decades. They are real. If you're an atheist, you're a fucking moron. You have no idea what this world is and what's really going on here. And I feel sorry for you because you're either extremely low IQ or you are just that's pretty much the same thing. Or you are just missing the boat. Let me try to be polite here. That is a demon, as you can see. I know. Still, the video is going. This is moving, as you can see, very slow, because it's moving very slow. Next day, my sister was also an empath. She has empathic abilities. Comes over to my house. I show her this video. I don't blow it up at the time. I did that night, and I could see a face in it. My sister's an empath and has abilities as well. She goes, I feel like there's a face in there. I blow it up on the tablet. There's a face. You can see an outline of a face in there. This is a demon. I actually heard some woman who actually dealt with a demon like this, the smoke demon like this. I don't know what you'd call it, smoke demon, whatever the hell it is, fire demon. She didn't mention that smoke or fire demon. I just call it that because, and she said she's a demon. She was practicing witchcraft and satanic, and she was into that before she found, religion and Jesus, which I recommend that many of you out there should do as well, because it is real. And she said she spoke of this demon, similar to this. I don't know if it's an exact demon. I don't know who this piece of shit demon is. Here's what I think of demons. Go fuck yourself, bitch. And that's how I treat them now. I don't have any respect for demons or fallen angels. I think they're pieces of shit. They betrayed our Father, our Creator, God, and they're disrespectful. I don't show them respect. I laugh at them. I still see them on occasion today. And I love to tell them, like, yeah, do me a favor, give a message to Satan. Tell him to go fuck himself. And I've actually had one of my angels tell me not to, that I'm treading where angels won't even tread when I say stuff like that. So anyway, this is the end of the video. Gang stalking is real. I wrote a book. The more my story goes on, people will be able to, when they find out who I am, they'll be able to, through the Freedom of Information Act, go ahead and they'll see they can subpoena, or the freedom, not subpoena, but Freedom of Information, get all the call logs and records of me making calls. I was so under attack spiritually that I would call the police because they were harassing me nonstop. I'd call them, fuck you, fuck you. This is me calling Detective White in Internal Affairs. How do I know Detective White's name? How do I know Lieutenant Monahan? How do I know these people? How do I know when I moved to California, they were harassing me so much in Las Vegas when it originally started. I actually moved to California to get away from it. Do you know they contacted the San Diego Sheriff's Department and continued the stalking and gang stalking? Absolutely. So this is what garbage your government is. And I mean, you got to understand this is real. So, and what was the other guy's name? And then they tried to reproduce the same thing with, remember, they planted somebody in my work, and I'm going to finish the story. We're at 27 minutes. Again, this is very hard to do because I have so much to say. So Detective Kirk Sullivan trying to set me up with drugs and stuff in my own real estate company that I don't own it, but I work there. Then I move out of California after years of being harassed from 95 to almost 2000, 2001. I finally settled that lawsuit I'm in. Thank God that I was in a massive lawsuit as well. So I moved to California. What do they do? Las Vegas police contact San Diego Sheriff's Department, start gang stalking me there. Then I go to eat sushi one day. Guy comes in, oh yeah, and he's trying to be my friend. They're trying to set me up again like Kirk did. And his name is Dane Moody with the San Diego Sheriff's Department. How could I have the names? Gang stalking is not real. There's no such thing as gang stalking. You're a paranoid delusion freak. Really? Am I? You don't do this. You don't do all this unless it's true. And for the psychiatrists out there, you're fucking idiots. Many of the people that come to you are dealing with demonic forces. But you're many of you attorneys have no idea how wrong you are and what's really going on. Anyway, I'm going to have to edit this video because a lot of the things I said are probably not going to be too good for some people. But anyway, digital notes, I have more. I have boxes of it. Went on for over 25 years. So I said 25, 30 years because, excuse me. Like I said, it went on for over 25 years, but I always cut it off about 25 years because then I moved across country and it was far less because it was difficult for the San Diego Sheriff's Department and Las Vegas Police Department. So all they can do is contact the police where I am now. That's difficult. I mean, now you got to have them do it 25, 30 years later. So that, and also one of the things I stopped drinking after many decades because I was under so much stress. So if you notice, I'm still overweight, gain a lot of weight. You're under a lot of stress because even if you try to ignore it, it affects you. You're a human being. When they're gang stalking you, when you make a friend at work and you're on the phone talking to them, talking about a real estate deal, and then that friend no longer talks to you because they think you're a drug dealer or you're a homosexual, or it's one thing about the police I want to say, if you ever see this video, the biggest faggots are you. We all know that. Not only are you the biggest criminals, but you're the biggest faggots. You beat your wives. And I want to say something about drugs to everybody out there. Drugs, nobody should be going to jail for using drugs when the government runs drugs. And why are cops that use drugs? And the majority of cops today have used drugs. How dare you arrest anyone when you use drugs? You should be in fucking jail for using drugs. What a hypocrisy. What hypocrisy. Can you imagine? Well, when I did it, it was different. When you did it, you're a drug dealer. Well, if I do drugs, I'm a drug dealer? If I go out and party and pop an ecstasy pill, that makes me a drug dealer. If you snort cocaine as a cop before you became a cop, you were just partying, that's different. It's no foul, doesn't count. You could be a cop. I disagree. I'm going to say for the record, nobody should be in government and law enforcement. This will never happen because we all know they're hypocrites. If you broke the law at any time in your life, you should not be allowed to be in a judge, not be an attorney, not be in federal law, state law. You shouldn't be allowed. The problem is if you did that and passed the federal law and state law to do that, 95% of the people would be fired tomorrow. You'd have no police force. You'd have majority of judges and DAs would be fired because they partied in college. They did drugs. They do stuff, but then they act like oh my gosh, somebody smoked a joint. We got to arrest them and put them in jail. Are you fucking kidding me? Your government's the largest drug dealer in the world. Anyway, thank you for watching. So 31 minutes. That's a little bit. I went way overboard. Very hard to do this. A lot of times I get very angry, as you can probably sense. When you lose as much time as I did and you're winding down your life, but you're looking back and these fucking animals were destroying your life. And the worst part is the police getting off on it. They enjoy it. One of my angels, and I'll leave you with this. One of my angels told me that they were bragging about what they did to me. So imagine how small-minded you have to be. I'm one man against an army, a massive army of cops and government. I'm trying to make a living. They're destroying my opportunity to make a living. They're making a paycheck doing the harassment. And then they brag, thousands of them against one guy, and you have the audacity to brag. Not only shows you what absolute low IQ, white trash garbage you are, but it's why God never wastes his time having angels talk to you, and why you'll never be one of God's chosen. You'll always just be a fucking nothing, because that's how small-minded you are. Anyway, have a good night, and thanks for watching.